Hello friends, I'm Neha Verma and welcome back to my channel English NET JRF. I hope you all are preparing for this NET exam which will be in the next session of the 2021 and it will be most probably in the month of June itself, and I hope that you all are preparing with the question papers also and with the help of other theory books also, and you are also going through the literary terms, literary theory and criticism also. So without getting delayed, we are starting our today's session, which is the remaining portion of Canterbury Tales. And in this video, we'll be covering our portion of characteristics of different characters, and also earlier, which I have forgotten to tell you, I had forgotten to tell you about the genres of different stories. So I'll be covering everything in today's video. So if you're coming for the first time through this channel, do like it, share it and subscribe it, and if you find it useful, do tell your friends, your family members or whoever the person who is preparing for NET exam. So here we go. So number one is Knight here. Okay, so who is Knight? Knight is the first character of Canterbury Tales of our pilgrims who speaks the tale for the first time, and he's the first person who is very gentle. According to Chaucer, he is the first person who is very gentle, well-mannered, kind, chivalrous, and he is full of valor. Valor is again another term for bravery. Okay, and he had never spoken angrily to anybody. Like he had never gotten such anger issues or annoying nature with himself. So he had never seen angrily spoken to anyone. Remember this thing, this is very important for your exam. And second comes your Square. Square, who is a Square? Square is a 20 years old guy, and he is a son of Knight, right? So he has a paradoxical nature of qualities, like he is lustful bachelor also, and he is full of well-mannered behavior, and he's helpful also, he's kind, he's gentle. So he's the combination of both the contrasting natures in himself, right? So he's a 20 years old person, he's the son of Knight, and he wears short gown with long sleeve. So imagine a guy who wears short gown and he has a longer sleeves, like the sleeves are in a very puffy way, in a very ruffled way. He had a sleeves over the hands, right? And further we had the characteristic, he's lustful and he's well-mannered, he is helpful, he has gotten an ability to draw, to dance, and he could also compose the lyrics. So these are the various qualities of Square. There comes Yeoman. Who is a Yeoman? Yeoman is a servant to Knight. So I am making the three of the people here in a chronological way. Why so? Because they have a relation, and by knowing this relationship, you can be able to remember everything in a one go. Like who is a Knight? Knight is the first person who deciphers his story, and he got a son here who is Square. And then we have Yeoman. Yeoman is a servant to Knight. Now what are the characteristics of Yeoman here? He wears green coat with hood. Okay, he had gotten a green coat with a hood. You can remember this very easily. It's a simple thing. And he had hidden peacock colored arrows with himself. Hidden peacock color. What is it? What is the color of peacock? Bluish green or greenish blue. That is the turquoise color, right? So he had gotten the hidden peacock colored arrows here, and he also got shield, sword and a bright dagger. What does he had? Shield, sword and a bright dagger. Then the most important characteristic of Yeoman is he had won Saint Christopher medal on his chest of silver. Remember, Saint Christopher medal on his chest of silver. So let's say silver is the color of the cloth which he wears, and he had got a medal on it, and which has an inscription of Saint Christopher, right? And further, he had a deep knowledge of woodcraft, forestry and about hunting, and he had also gotten a hunting horn. So these are the various characteristics of Yeoman, Square and Knight. Then we switch on to the next character. That is prioress. Okay, so there are two prioress in the Canterbury Tales. Right, so the first one is our Madame Eglantine. Madame Eglantine has a meaning of the name called Sweet Briar. Someone who quotes herself in a very melodious way, but in just as if she's pretending something. Like she doesn't have a very natural impression or expressions of her talks, but she used to be a very sweet, canny person. Right. Then we have another quality, like we all used to say by God or by swear of God or whatever you used to call whatever the oath which she used to refer as. So she had a oath which she used to say as by Saint Loy. This is very important. It can come as a question. By Saint Loy. And she spoke French in a very fluently, in a very flawless manner. And she used to imitate courtly manners. She used to imitate courtly manners, and her heart is full of pity if she see a mouse entrapped. This is the very important line because it had come like 2 or 3 times in NET paper. So you have to learn this. Her heart is full of pity as if she see a mouse entrapped. And the next, which is very important, she used to wear a golden brooch with an inscription called Amor Vincit Omnia. Amor Vincit Omnia. This is a Latin term, and which means love conquers all. Okay, so again we are talking about the prioress. We are just revising it. Prioress has a name called Madame Eglantine, and she has a meaning like sweet briar, and she used to speak French fluently, flawlessly, and she used to imitate courtly manners. She used to wear a golden brooch with an inscription called Amor Vincit Omnia, which means love conquers all. And if I am forgetting anything here, the most important line is her heart is full of pity if she see a mouse entrapped. Right, so these are the major characteristics, major question which can come in the exam, because in the past also these questions had come in the exam, in SET also and in NET also. Right, then the next one is monk. So he's not like another monks who are very gentle and who are very peaceful, but he is unlike them. He is a person who used to love hunting, and he is not a believer of Saint Benedict and Saint Maurice. Like all other monks are supposed to follow the commandments of Saint Benedict and Saint Maurice, but he doesn't follow them. And he says that these people are old and constructive. Right? He was extremely fat and he was a bold person. He had a favorite cuisine to eat, and its name was fat roasted swan. What was his favorite food? Fat roasted swan was his favorite food to eat. Right? These are the qualities of monk here, unlike all other monks which we all know. Right? And the next one is sergeant at law. So who is sergeant at law? He is a lawyer in the Canterbury Tales, and he got a sharp memory, very sharp memory. He can remember everything, and he remembered every case and decision which had occurred since the time of King Williams. So these are the two major important characteristics of sergeant at law. He is a lawyer, he got a sharp memory, and he could remember, he had remembered all the cases and decisions taken since the time of King Williams. Okay, so till here you can remember all the major highlighted things which I have marked here, and these are the key notes, key points here. So the next characteristic of our next character is merchant. Merchant, he's a very wealthy man of the town, right? And he had a Flemish beaver's hat, which means a rodent's hat, right? And he used to sell French crowns, which were used to call shields. French crowns, he used to sell French crowns, which were called shields. And Chaucer doesn't know the name of merchant, despite of the fact that he was a wealthy person of the town. and he used to have a fork-like beard. That means, what is the shape of the fork? There are several lines inside a fork, so that means he had a beard with the shape of fork. Like there is a line of beard, there is a line of beard, and there is another line of beard. So he had got such shape of beard, and he used to always and he used to have dress always in motley. Motley is a kind of cloth here, right? Then we have the characteristic of friar. Who is a friar? Friar is a beggar, and he is a very corrupt man, and he knows how to lead a small talk. Like if I am friar and I know how to talk in a precise way, and that is full of content, and that doesn't contain any big word or any artificialness in the words spoken by friar, right? And he is the pillar of church, and his hood was, what is the hood? There is a sweater kind of stuff, and which had a cap which is called hood, and his hood was full of knives and trinkets, and he used to wear a double-breasted cloth, the double-breasted cloth, and he was called Hubbard. Hubbard is a name which was given to friar, right? The next character is Franklin. Franklin is got a beard here, and his beard color was white, and his beard was as white as daisy, right? And he was a genuine Epicurean. This is important. And he was a member of parliament for his country, and he carries a short dagger and a silken pouch with himself. So we have covered the three characteristics here: merchant, friar, and Franklin. So merchant is a wealthy person who has a fork-shaped beard, and friar is a person who was given a name Hubbard, right? He was given a name Hubbard, and his hood was full of trinkets and knives. Then we have another character, Franklin. Franklin used to carry short dagger and a silken pouch, and his beard was as white as daisy, and he was a member of parliament for his country, and he was a genuine Epicurean. So these are the characteristics. Moving on the next character. So Cook was the best judge of ale house in London. So he had got a knowledge about every gin, every alcohol in the ale house of London. Oh sorry, of the ale house of London. And he got an open sore on his knee. He had an open kind of wound on the position of his knee portion. Right, he had an open sore on his knee. And the next one is sea captain. Sea captain is a person who had travelled from Hull to Carthage. These are the places from Hull to Carthage. He had travelled everywhere, and his ship has a name called Magdalene. What was the name of the ship? Magdalene. And he was perhaps from Dartmouth, because this is not a very clear information, but he is perhaps from Dartmouth, as is described in the poem Canterbury. And the next one is physician. Physician is a surgeon, and he had got training in astrology also, so he had some knowledge of astrology, right? And he's fond of gold, and he had made excellent money in the time of plague, right? So these are the two characteristics of physician, that he was a doctor, he was a surgeon also, and he was an astrologer also. Next is wife of Bath. Wife of Bath is very, very important for your net point of view, and she was deaf. She was an excellent weaver, and she had a gap between her teeth, and she had travelled various places. The names of the places are very, very important. You can see, as I have written here, the marker is not very dark, so I can spell the names here. Jerusalem, you all have heard about this place. Then the next one is Bologna, and the next one is Rome, St. James Shrine, which is in Galicia, and the next one is Cologne. So these are the 5 places which she had travelled. So you have to remember all the 5 places names. Then the next one is Parson. Parson is a very pure-hearted person, and he is an epitome of gentleness. What is an epitome? Epitome is an example. So he is an epitome of gentleness, and he was a very, very educated person, and he had never ever excommunicated anyone for non-payment of taxes. Right? These are the characteristics of the very. The next character is pardoner. Pardoner, someone who forgives everyone, and he used to sing a song, and the name of the song is very important, which I had written here. Come to me, love hither song. What was the name of the song? Come to me, love hither song. This is the name of the song. And Chaucer opines. Chaucer thinks that pardoner is eunuch. Pardoner is a eunuch. Miller. Next character is of Miller, and he had got an ugly wart on his nose. What is a wart? Wart is a pimple which is on the nose for Miller. Right, and he could play the bagpipes. Bagpipes is a musical instrument, and he could drive the crowd crazy behind the music of his instrument, which is bagpipe. Right. Reeve is the next character, and he's a choleric man, and he had got a very thin stick-like legs. And the next character is Summoner. Summoner, one who summons the speeches in the church, and he is as lecherous as Sparrow. He has a quality of being lecherous as Sparrow, and he was called a friendly rascal. And the next one is, the last one is Plowman. Who is a plowman? Plowman is a kind of farmer, and he is a brother of parson. And he is again a very gentle man. He is a very peaceful man, and he lives on charity. And he used to ride upon a mare, and he wore a labourer's smoke. He used to wear a labourer's smoke. So these are the very important highlighters and key points of the characteristics of pilgrims, and these are really very beneficial for your NET point of view. And if you really like this video, do like, share, comment and subscribe the channel. And if you want to purchase the PDFs of these notes, which are in a very precise way, and these PDFs are of 500 rupees, you can order it. And again, I have the whole package of the notes, which had covered everything from your beginning to medieval to your modern history of British English literature. And after that, I had covered literary theory, critical terms, and the other necessary things, which is Indian literature, Afro-American literature, American literature, world literature, contemporary literature, and also the plays of modern times. Right, so you can also purchase it on the order through WhatsApp or through PhonePe. You can pay the money, and if you really want to ask something, because I also give counseling to the people, to the students, and if you would like to have some counseling session, you can call me, and I have mentioned my number in the description box below. And you can also have it till your exam. Like, I provide counseling session till you clear the NET exam, and that is of 500 rupees. You can share your doubts, you can ask your problems, and you can also, like, I am not going to cover every theoretical session with you people, but I'll be providing guidance to you, like how to proceed, how to learn, how to memorize, what are the tricks, and I will make you learn every single thing which you need to learn. And I can decipher everything which is very beneficial and crucial for your examination point of view. So thank you, and I'm really looking forward to your comments, to your feedback. So